Eve paints.
Hey folks, welcome to another 3D printing Patreon preview. I have 205 campaigns to share with you this week, as well as another 20 in the lightning round at the end. These videos take quite a bit of work to make, and in the future, I'd like to break it up into weekly and topical videos, as well as a more perusable website, and I could really use your help. Like, subscribe, and commenting all help out the algorithm, and I have my own Patreon campaign as well, if you'd like to help out even more. Quick content warning: some campaigns contain pinup style models. I've left a link in the description to a video discussing why that may need a content warning. With that said, let's get started. First up, we have Zombie Civilian number 2 by Dungeon Dog Miniatures. Sculpt Tuner has some cutesy Vikings this month. These are but a few of the great minis Warehouse Workshop has put out this month. Here are minis for Justice and Fortitude of the 7 Heavenly Virtues by Homunculus Creations. 2 Moronic Miniatures has a Witch Dragon, a Tree Giant, and a bunch of Dwarves. Max Raw has a Dysorian Lancer and a new Swamp Base. This is a portion of What the Hellmental Creations' Polynesian-themed July release. Zombie Smith has a bunch of cute little aliens with guns. The Surreal Factory has a Space Soldier and a Centaur. The Owl has a nice Egyptian theme for July. Skaven Trader has a bunch of scary harpies this month. This is the Mycelial Queen by Sculptor's Cave, part of their second Myconoids Swarm set. These 3 explosive dwarves are the Bomber Crew by Miniatures Blueprints. Here are some Japanese Special Forces by Combat Octopus. Here's a Chibi Venom statue by Tentacle Art. Realm Gate Studio is working on a female Marine. A new Destroyer, Carrier, and War Sun for the Race of Turtles by Ivan. Here are progress pics of Renan 3D's spaceships for the month. Pirate Fishfolk, a Raptor, and more from Claudio Cassini Art. These are just the first 6 miniatures released by Your Neighbor Night Minis this month. Blue Wyvern is working on Familiars. Cybermyths has some Tainted Warriors and diorama bases to go with them. This is a work-in-progress shot of Print, Paint, and Play's July release. These are the Ouroboros Priest and the Mad Priest by Star Pharaoh Foundry. Lost World Miniatures has 7 Spectres this month. The Lilalian Industrial Complex has a Battlesuit and bonus Spiderbot this month. 3DS of San has Marcus the Vampire and a work-in-progress Matoka. Art of Mike has Cyberboxers and Cyber Business People. Mecha Miniatures has modular Fero Orcs and 10 generic Orc heads. Deathhaven has some really creepy creatures for you. The Cult of Pickle has some pretty interestingly named minis this month. Hive Delta has a Stalker bug for July. Red Dawn 3D Miniatures has cavalry and machine guns this month. Skylar 3D has Katarina from League of Legends. Careful, she's quick. This is a preview of Thunderchrome's Garden of Dreams. My 3D Print Forge has quite a few characters this month, with several busts as well. Maps and Monsters has several Wendigo in 3 dimensions as well as 2. Polygrim has an Old West theme this month, with more than 20 minis and scatter terrain too. Random Miniatures has Kings of the Cosmos and Wizards of the Beaches. This modular tower is the most recent public image from Dottie Dungeon and Dintorni. We have nautical-themed chibis from Celia Miniatures this month. This is an American T-25 tank by Panzerprinter. This creepy creature by Clay Demon Miniatures is Ugudal Fuatai, the Harbinger of Chaos. August McDaniel is working on a set of gravestones. Misk Boy Mini has a Build Your Own Warforged set this month. The Portal of Morrow has a geneticist and is working on a demon as well. Savant 3D is working on the Valley of Active Portals this month. Arcanum Workshop has a set of 5 Damned Knights. Happy Duck 3D has a Pegasus squad this month. This is an Italian country house by Patrick Miniatures. Fun Anthropomorphic Adventurers seems to be Jamie Corte's calling card. The Arcanum Alliance is the most recent release from Moonglaive Studios. Modular and multi-part Birdie Beastmen and Giants by Megori Miniatures. Here is a work-in-progress dwarf from Will Sutton over at Zandoria Studios. 2 Gargoyles has tanks and riders, as well as multi-part fantasy mercenaries. Pestilence Heroes and Hellhounds from Varus Miniatures. A European Hedgehog is the most recent release from Labradorite Wolf. Modern Survivors Series 12 and Deep Ones from Colossal Miniatures. Rubim has Beelzebub from Helltaker and Noel from Genshin Impact. Nova Minis has the Slave River Guild this month, with Owlbear riding hobgoblins. Across the Realms has Desert Bandits, Beetle Hulks, a Gnome Artificer, and more. Maddox Historical Miniatures has armies for France, Austria, Russia, and Prussia. The Mechanical Hive by Blue Art looks absolutely fantastic. Red Nebular has multi-part 28mm and monopose 10mm Jotnar Forest Trolls. Velrock Miniatures has Spec Ops Tempest Guardsman this month. Welcome to Fishertown is Galad Miniatures July release. Warblade Studio has droids, stormtroopers, a Lando bust, and more. Hell Creator has some video game protagonists in mini and bust form. Here are some villains, zombies, and survivors from Vault Z. Here are civilians from several cities in Legend Build's Realm of Eros. Here are a couple orcs, Benny the Space Ape, and more from Knucklebones. Naga Minis has some fun bear and sheep folk, as well as the dragon Barath, the Keeper of Tomes. Lady Asilum and Donorg the Fat and others make up Kurzluk Miniatures Terror Realm. For Blue Sky Minis' first release, we have Dr. Octopus and a boss on a warbike. More Storm Giants this month from RG Sculpt. Imitation of Life Miniatures has multi-part Wreckerbots this month. Orc King Space War has 4 Dead Bloom Berserkers. A Sight of Oblivion is the July release from Flesh of Gods Miniatures. Here are 3 lizard folk from Crosslances. They usually have an additional 3 as well, but no pics of them so far. Here's the Elven Lord Airlad on his mount Crothone, as well as his army, by Fantasy Cult Miniatures. Village's Hope Miniatures has 7 heroes this month. Fictin Fu has a Proxy Frame Type 6, Titanidae Tengu. Tiny Furniture Digital has a bandit camp and a couple of characters. Cult Miniatures has a bunch of variants of 4 different dungeon creatures. 3D Hexes has cave terrain and mushroom huts this month. From Role Playing Miniatures, this is a Tabaxi Gladiator, Velociraptor, and Kamadan. Here's a Birdfolk Fighter with a bust and a variant from Gloomy Kid Minis. Heroes and Beasts has a wizard for a hero and a spider/scorpion folk for a beast. Print and Paint's epic July release is the Undead Crypt. These are Arastasia and Arastasia's Daughters by Fleshcraft Studio. Here is a set of Undead Vikings from Drunken Dwarf this month. Studio DR has a whole spaceship this month, the Ebon Hawk. Greenskin Miniatures has Spearchuckas, Trolls, Giant Squigs, and a Goblin Hero. Polygon Masterworks has a Stealth Brokeback Mech and 10 variants of a Mech Bay Plunderer. Ilhadiel has Harpies, a Dark Elf Ballista, Standard Bearer, Banshee, and more. The Molderbloom Fungaren are an army of mushroom folk by Battleyak Miniatures. Pop Minis has something of a Kill Bill theme this month. Orc King has a female warrior, Raduk the vampire, a small horde of skellies, and more. From the Dork Factory this month, we have the Agony Construct, multi-part Blademaster Demons, and the Cyborg Super Chassis, as well as a guest model from the Surreal Factory that you'll have to check out on their Patreon page. Mini Rat Studio has a small-scale army this month, with pistols, steel, and cavalry. Turn-based Miniatures has some Spetsnaz for you, as well as a post-apocalypse version. Robo Roland has 4 busts this month, including Grebo, the Swedish Chef, and others. This is the leader of the Bone Vengers by Drunk Magos Seller. This is the Silver Warden's Grandmaster of Psychics by DMG Minis. Sable Badger has a book box for game bits, ruined ramparts, stonework bases, and more. Void Realm Minis has moon beasts, parts of a purple worm, and other strange creatures. Crucible of Games has a dice tower, 2 pie vectors, and Agrosite Zwintar bats. The Lonely Tower and other models are the July release from Dragon Workshop. The Rise of a Champion is a preview of Creature Armory's new model. Runes Forge has Scavenger Bikers and a Scavenger Leader, as well as the Prime Leader of the Dragon Knights. Bogatyr Printables has a Wizard and 4 Dwarves this month. Spartanian Heroes, Technops Goliathex, and a Tidehunter Schooner from Dark Foundry Miniatures. Onmyoji has a Chaos Warrior on a dragon, amongst other creatures and cavalry. Myth Bowl RN Studio has a full team of Ancestrals this month. Outrageous Creations has some Battle Nuns for July. Warplock Miniatures has the Star Elven Host in 28mm and a Beastfolk clan in 10. Albino Raven Miniatures has multi-part Heavy Marines, a Chaos Standard Bearer, and an Imperial Guard officer. Highcraft Miniatures has 2 sets, the Grog's Invasion and Rally Brother Dwarves. Aether Studio is working on a tile set called Doomtech this month. Maddox dug up an old fossil of a wizard for their July release. This is The Painmaker by Imperatum Art. Wake's Emporium has a small army of gobos with warriors, wargriders, and catapults. Lion Tower Miniatures, the Adventurers Guild, has Sergei Rumbletummy and an assassin. The Fallen Beasts by Clay Beast Creations are a pack of soul scavengers with a horned seer and a jabber monster. Goonmaster Games has Deadly Deer this month, some riding bears. Big Mr. Tong has Natchdrek civilians, mage, and a hero, as well as Blake's 7 Federation troopers, Citadel guards, and more. Caballero Miniatures has Spanish cavalry and warriors this month. Kyoshu Miniatures has Samurai Cavalry and Lightning Oni, as well as a Space Dwarf tank train. Kyleton, Hive City Docks, by Sacris Mundus, is a great set of scalable terrain. DM Stash has the Sands of Sud Toast, minis and 5th edition module. Ella Art has a Chibi Hestia model and Lulu from Final Fantasy X2. A bunch of Raptors arrived at the end of last month from Epic's End Stuff's Miniatures, and this month we have a Turtle Baby, Barbarian, and a Brute. Ronin Arts has what appears to be a Lich riding a Golem with Undead against 3 hero models in 2 poses each. The creepy creatures from Schlossbauer this month have names like Gleok, Digdogger, Goma, and Zebub, amongst others. Bright Minis has Kenku, the Mayor, and the Light Post coming between them, as well as Ilse, the Flute Girl and her entourage. Black Remnant has Sith Acolytes, Gamorrean Guards, Caleb Doom, Janice Casimir, and more. Alexei Konev has 2 busts this month, the Queen of Nothing and Aegon Sultan. Edge Miniatures, The Cursed Dimension, has Speed Demons and their alien slaves, also a Cottage and Giant. Here are some bandits, druids, and base toppers from Titan Troll Miniatures. Red Pilgrim Miniatures has Knights of Silence, along with a Dead Ghost, and Clibanarii, the inner circle of the chapter. Davale Games has 6 Metal Guard Dwarves with a Ballista and Flea Stonestaff, as well as 2 Shadows and more. That Evil One has some slightly chaotic looking Marines with a flyer and some mini tank guns. Manuel Boria has a bunch of kobolds of various different classes this month. 2 of them have wings. Dice Heads has a multi-part pirate ship this month, as well as pirates, sea monsters, and animal adventurers. Sarly Factory has some Gothic ruins and tall rock formations this month. Twin Goddess Miniatures has several tieflings this month, as well as a stack of goblins and a sci-fi girl. Signum Workshop has vampires and vampire hunters, as well as the Ophidian Alliance and Skagard, Warriors of the North. From Raven Twin Miniatures, we have Hellhounds, Harpies, Beastmen, and a Mongrel Shaman. Dark Realms has added Building 6, a new hall, stables, and barracks to their city of Arkenfell. Crippled God Foundry's Abyssal Waters set includes an Abyssal Demon, Chaos Pirates and Ship, a Kraken, a Defiler, a Sea Witch, and Sirens. Seb Miniatures has a whole bunch of options for clone troopers, as well as an armored Wookiee, Sabine Wren, and more. Daybreak Miniatures has busts of a bunch of their most popular characters this month. New models from Duncan Shadow include Tabaxi Bandits, Boggart and Musul Necromancers, Otterfolk, Koatoa, Fish Giants, and Minotaurs. Print Minis has a pretty extensive Outbreak in the Lab collection this month, with lots of survivors, victims, a containment team, terrain, and more. Print Your Monsters has the Infernal Hive this month, full of Wasp Queens, Warriors, and Minions. Last Sword Miniatures has an Imperial Kindred Phalanx, Lizard Folk Warriors, Warriors of the Ashes, and a couple commanders. Atlan Forge has multi-part ranged Minoan Agema Marines, Hades Black Vultures, and an Asgardian Storm Priest. Masterwork Tools has wall niches, iron-bound timber pillars, and Dungeonstone collapsed tunnel tiles. Monstrous Encounters has ghouls and zombies, as well as a set of questing knights yet to be revealed. Gear Guts' Mech Shop has a bunch of different types of boys, as well as some cans, trucks, mech squigs, and more. Here is a Glabrezu and a Grave Titan from Yasashi Kyojin Studios. Vevictus Miniatures is doing Pirates this month, with work-in-progress pics of a Shark and Crabman. From Prey Collection Studios, we have another Gargoyle, Darkwing Duck, and Herman the Crab from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Cobra Mode has several buildings this month, as well as an Ifrit, Shopkeep, and a couple desert trackers with fox and cat companions. The Printing Goes Ever On are updating their interactive modular mini-maker to include half-orcs this month. Comet Lord Miniatures has the Comet Lord Emissary, a succubus and incubus in various unseemly poses, and a Mind Flayer Sorcerer and Assassin. Rocket Pig Games has, amongst others, a Werebear, a Wereboar, and War Ogres, one of them being ridden by goblins. Great Grimoire has some nautical-themed characters and creatures this month, with a nice lady pirate to command them. Asgard Rising has multi-part spiders, as well as forest/swamp goblins riding them. From Gamescape 3D this month, we get an expansion to their Celtic Village set, as well as a new Gravemaker worksite, and slide-in walls for sheds and merchant stalls. The second half of the Moonshine Snotlings fantasy football team is the July release from Punga Miniatures. The Tabaxian Caravan by Printed Obsession is a collection of catfolk of many different breeds and classes. The Legend of Daymur by Broken Anvil Monthly is owlfolk of all classes, as well as owlbears and other owl creatures. There's also a few ratfolk at the end. For July, Ritual Casting has sculpted Kara Aloris, Baroness of the Boneyard, and her buddy, Thorn the Butcher. The Carcharodonic Pirate Lords are multi-part male and female pirates, as well as some nice dilapidated docks and scatter terrain. Mia K has a dragon, some townsfolk, and work-in-progress shots of a Knoll Lord and a shadow monster. The Dragon's Rest has several new dungeon floor tiles, as well as a hanging cage and an unfortunate victim for inside. Highlands Miniatures has the Winged Hussars of Volhynia, with swords, lances, a musician, banner bearer, and a commander. Clay Cyanide Miniatures has dragons for July, as well as dragon warriors, dragon bloods, dragon gods, and wyverns. The three sets from STL Miniatures this month are Druids, Boat Builders, and Fishermen, each with minis and terrain to go with them. Unit 9 this month has a Combat Buzz aircraft with crew, the Bomber Girls gang, several Micro Machines Corps armed guards, and a ganger each from the Metal Slammers and Ubermensch gangs. Bite the Bullet is doing Dragonborn this month, with plans for 5 different classes, 3 of which are already complete. The only female is unfortunately a pinup. White Werewolf Tavern's Dunes of Fire release includes Tabaxi, Ifrits, Genies, a Salamander, and Mabonga, the Hexmaster. Avatars of War has 4 wolf-riding goblins this month, as well as a war wagon and either the Goblin King or more spear and bow goblins riding it. Papsicles is venturing into droid production at their Papsicles Heavy Industries, with interior building tiles, a gunship, and a whole bunch of well-armed droids. .3D Art Guy has a somewhat disturbing-looking demon, a heavily ornamented marine, and the same demon looking even more disturbing, having been cut to pieces. One Gold Piece is working on some city guard, or mercenary looking fellas this month, as well as a centerpiece with a Skelly warrior surprising one of them. Anvil Digital Forge has a multi-part hazmat containment team this month, along with a lab, scientists, and mutants for them to put down. Gamek has some vampire and zombie looking things for their fantasy tier, and a good range of proxy sister units for their sci-fi tier. A Witcher Contract, Volume 2, is RN Studio's July release. I haven't played The Witcher, so I can't say how close they are to the source material. Lost Kingdom Miniatures has some Mongol-inspired orcs, with a Khan and his successor, multi-part foot and cavalry with spears, bows, and commanders, as well as a nice ballista. The Mythicon Gladiators and Arena from Bestiarum Miniatures includes quite a few gladiators, champions, and beasts to battle it out in the giant arena they've constructed. Just the one image so far from the Dragon Trapper's Lodge this month, though they did mention that the title of the set is Dragon Strike. Epic Miniatures' 2 new sets for the month of July are titled Lost Paradise and Gear Town. I'm not sure if the dinosaurs hail from Paradise or are the reason for its loss, but we have a Spinosaurus and Raptors, as well as Elven Barbarians, Dinosaur Tribe Warriors, Etten Ancestors, a Pterosaur, Terror Birds, Cavemen, a Stone Demon, Triceratops, optionally as mounts, Dire Trolls, Furbolgs, Basilisks, 4 Elementals, a long spine-necked dinosaur, an Elven Huntress, and finally several T-Rex optionally wearing armor. I think that's what the world really needs right now. A few T-Rexes in armor would surely set things straight. For their steampunky gear town, we have Artificer Baldric in several poses, and a few of his construct guards. Steel dwarves and their steel-forged dragon creation. The Gear Town Knights, 4 hippo soldiers that I absolutely love. 3 assault tanks. The Masked Baron and his constructs, the Clock Golem and the Dragon Whelps. There's a large battle armor construct, Lord Hamilton with his Steam Tech X600 Road Buzzer, War Construct Juggernauts, Mechanic Victoria, best in Gear Town, more Steam Tech, the X1200 Flappy Fish, Iron Drake Tanks, Gate Golems, and finally Lord Hamilton's third creation, Steam Tech X2400 Skymaster. The Hawkers of Themaria from Cast and Play this month includes 4 shopkeeps and their stalls, as well as some kids, dogs, and walls to keep the place safe at night. From the Maker's Cult this month, we have a Cyberzerker Rifleman, an Erebus Entrenching Transport, a battle tank by guest modeler Lalaline Industrial Complex, Valor Corps Heavy Artillery with crew, and an Iron Hive Pyrobug. There's also a Dark Techno Assassin on the way. One-page rules are stepping up their game this month with 3 armies. In addition to the new warriors, drones, and vehicles for the Duchy of Vinci, and several new big bugs for the alien hives, they are also releasing mummified undead warriors, chariots, and animal-faced elites. Eye of the Serpent from Mini Monster Mayhem includes a Heavenly Ophidian Dragon, Serpentine Mount, and Serpentine Hound, both with optional saddles, Occult Cobra, multi-part Serpent Warriors, and a bunch of characters as well. For their 1-year anniversary, Cyberforge Miniatures has a great big Titan, free for everyone, as well as a bunch of Yakuza assassins, new clickers. The Supaku Militia and Tide Ripper mechs are representatives of a peaceful faction, and some nice Titan City civilians, which I would love to see more of. Lord of the Print has mastered the Jurassic this month with their Dinotopia release. All with optional mounts, there's a T-Rex, Sinoceratops, Quetzalcoatlus, and a Brachiosaurus with a huge platform on its back, as well as a small tribe to herd them. Charge of the Paladins from Heroes Infinite is full of charging heavy knights. There's the King, his Inquisitor, Herald, Queen, Saints, Monks, Clerics, Warriors, and more. There's a dragon the king can ride too, and an entire modular castle for them to defend. New models since last month's video from MZ4250 include a Leonin Barbarian, Mimic Phone, Orc Warchief and Warriors, new Rogue and Ranger, Hoplites, the Otyug, a Nymph, a Gnome Artificer on an Emu Iron Defender, a Half-Elf Warlock, a Chonky Red Dragon, an Owlbear, a Paraton, a Green Wyvern, a weird Piercer Stalagmite thing, a Pixie, a Purple Worm, the Quaggoth, a Leonin Female Fighter, a Revenant, a Wizard with a Dragon Staff, a Grung Barbarian with 2 spears, a Rock, a Roper, another weird stalagmite looking thing, the Rust Monster, a couple Sahagin, and finally, Pythonia the Cruel. Speak of the Devil, Act 1 from Archvillain Games has Horned Devils and Hell Knights galore, as well as some big-name demons like Azael, Fierna, and Asmodeus. There are also 3 members of the Archvillain Society, hopefully a repeating trend. Artisan Guild's July release is full of assassins, rogues, and bandits in the Thieves Guild. Modular minis on foot and horseback with optional hoods. Also a male and female hero, with the male getting an optional legendary mount, and female optionally taking her clothes off. And finally this month, Titanforge has retaken the top spot and have highborn elves for you, including a phoenix, great eagle and elk cavalry, archers, warriors, and more. Bases and scenery to go with, and 3 new Titans of Adventure to close out the show. Alright, time for the lightning round. Jeremy Smith, Blazcool, Realm of Paths, Platoon Prince, MT Forge, Rising Kingdoms Miniatures, 3D Print Games, The Nalon Realm, Guardian's Destiny, Stormcrow, JG Sculpts, Moon Coven, Valkyrie's Playground, Legion Miniatures, Miniatures by Ace, K-Scale Models, Uncanny Minis, TPK Lab, The Colliding Realms, Iconic Minis, That's all for now. Check back weekly for Kickstarter countdowns, and in late August for the next Patreon preview. Huge thanks to all my patrons, Zomblor, Dork Factory, Sculptor's Cave, and even Nicholas Hendley, who has chosen to support me for no rewards. I see you there, and I do appreciate it. Thanks for watching, everyone, and see you next time.